I can see the heading, I can see author's detail. I get a lot of information before even I start reading. Here I get nothing. So it's easily a good idea to start reading at a reasonably slower pace than you normally read, just to get a sense in terms of what's happening. And then you can kind of get it to your reading pace here. Okay. What I also want to do is take a small pause here after sort of every this first paragraph and take an idea in my head in terms of what this paragraph is trying to say. What is the key idea? The same thing I will do with this second paragraph. Then automatically what I can do is that I can connect these two ideas together, right? And then I'll do the same here and kind of connect these two ideas here. Now, even though a particular paragraph has got multiple sentences, a paragraph is a unit, and the paragraph will have one idea. Okay, so let's say this paragraph, right? The positive is, the moment you have words like this, it doesn't matter. Somebody. The positive is, anxious to stake out their claim for history and science, contributed the weight of their influence to the cult of facts. Now, you have a lot of these cases, a lot of these sort of complex sentences, no? So what you want to do is read in chunk. Read in chunk. Now, positive is, anxious to stake out their claim for history as science, contributed, that's an action word, no? Verb, contributed the weight of their influence to the cult of facts. One thing that I'm kind of interested always is that I see the word cult. Why would the author use the word cult? I already get a sense that our author is an emojification. Whichever part where you can think about emoji, no, you should get excited. Why are you calling cult of fact? Positive is history is science and they are cult of fact. Let's see. Okay. First, ascertain the facts. Set the positivists, then draw your conclusions from them. This is what we may call the common sense view of history. So far, so good. The positivists, for them, history is all about facts. And that's called the common sense view of history. Okay. History consists of a corpus of certain facts. Same thing only. No. It's a repetition of the same idea. No. History, fact, positivists. These facts are available to historian documents, inscriptions, and so on. Sir George Clarke contrasted the hardcore of facts in the history with the surrounding pulp of disputable interpretation. There is facts, there is interpreting those facts. George Clarke, interpretation is like blah, 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 blah. Fact. Forgetting. Wait a minute. This is author's view. Author is getting involved. Our author is getting involved. Author is saying that people are forgetting. Perhaps the pulpy part of fruit is more rewarding than the hardcore. What is pulpy? The interpretation for the author, interpretation is more rewarding. It recalls a favorite dictum of the great liberal journalist, facts are sacred, opinion is free. Okay. Now, all that I understand from paragraph number 1 is that for positivity, let's call it P. History is facts. That's it, no? I think that author have got a different idea. According to author likes interpretation. Did you get this? And if I can get this idea from paragraph number 1, that's a crux. अपने को ऐसा निकालने का. How did I got this? First of all, I saw the word cult, forgetting. Who is forgetting? Clarke is forgetting. Perhaps. What is more rewarding? This author's opinion. What is more rewarding? The pulpy part. What is the pulpy part? Which is interpretation of the pulpy part. That is more rewarding. Okay, author is basically saying, okay, author likes interpretation. Okay, what is historical fact? According to the common sense view, not author's view, common sense view, there are a certain basic fact which are the same for all historians and from it, so to speak, the backbone of history. The fact, for example, that the Battle of Hastings was fought in 1006. But, another signal. I like these signals. But this view calls for 2 observations. Now, author is getting involved. Author is getting involved. When the emojification is happening, author is getting involved. This view calls for 2 observations. In the first place, it is not with facts like these that the historian is primarily concerned. It is no doubt important to know that the great battle was fought in 1066, not in 1065 or 1067, and was fought at Hastings, not at Hesbone or Brighton. The historian must not get this wrong, but to praise the historian for its accuracy is like praising an architect for using well-seasoned timber or properly mixed concrete in his building. It is a necessary condition for his work, not his essential condition, function. Author is saying that this fact, this is the common sense view, no? This is a common sense view. Common sense view, fact is important. Author is saying the fact is necessary. It's necessary, you should get it right. But fact is not essential. So what is essential according to the author? Interpretation, what else? It is precisely for matters of this kind that the historian is entitled to rely on what we call auxiliary sciences, archaeology, epigraphy, numismatics, chronology. Basically for this function, which is to identify facts, you can look at these auxiliary sciences. That's all. I mean, so when you're reading, reading like traffic signal, okay? So there are these red light, there is yellow signal, and there are greens. Right? That's how you read. Now, red is where author is making claims. Author's claims. That is what the red is. These yellow are all the signal words that I can get. For example, I could see bird, I could say bird, I could see something like forgetting. Somewhere I can actually feel emoji happening. Some signal words. And the rest of thing are all details. Details, justification. What is important is I will read the detailed justification, but what I'm going to retain is these ones. For example, let's go back and look at this particular paragraph once again. Now, just look at this particular paragraph and look at the structure of this particular paragraph. It's important to understand, to take this out, right? What is the paragraph saying? Paragraph starts with the question, what is a historical fact? What is fact? Now, author is trying to answer that question. And author starts by saying, let me first talk about what common sense view fellows tell me. Okay, there's a for common sense fellow, it is a backbone of history. Certain fact is backbone of history. The rest is given example. This is an example that is given. No, this is an example. This particular part is an example. This particular part is an example. Okay, Battle of Hastings was fought in 1066. Another one. But author is getting involved. This view calls for two observations. In the first place, what is the observation? It is not with facts like this historians' primary concern. Fact is not the primary concern of historians. According to the author, fact is not primary. According to the author, fact is not primary. For this common sense view, fact is primary. Okay. And now what is happening here? This sentence from this sentence. Here. What is happening here? Author is giving justification. No. Kyun primary nahi hai? Dekh. It is important that it happened in 1006, 1067. But these are basic things. But this is not a primary function. It's not an essential function. Okay, and then it says it's precisely for matters of this kind. Now you might consider what kind we are talking about. Which kind? The historians are entitled to rely on. Historian can rely to ascertain whatever facts. We rely on auxiliary sciences. So if when I read this particular passage, can I capture this idea? That's important. Itna hi hai. This is even if I write this on a piece of paper like this is what I'm going to call doodling. Either doodle on a head or doodle on a piece of paper. The second observation is that the necessity to establish this basic fact rests not on any quality in the fact themselves, but on a priori decision of the historian. But it doesn't matter. The fact is decided by the historian. Author is saying that first of all, the fact is necessary, not essential, not the primary function. The fact is a decision of the historian. In spite of C.P. Scott's motto, facts are sacred, opinions are free, every journalist knows today that the most effective way to influence opinion is by selection, arrangement of the appropriate facts. It is used to be said that facts speak for themselves. Fact is independent. This, of course, untrue. Authors claim this is fact doesn't speak for themselves. The facts speak only when the historians call on them. It is he who decides which fact to give to the floor, in what context. And then a lot of justification after this. The only reason why we are interested to know that the battle was fought at Hastings in 1066 that historians regard this as major historical event. You know what is the sentence? You need to understand, these are all detail. I'm reading it, but I'm not retaining it in my head. I'm reading it. I've written idea that fact is not objective. Actually, fact is subjective. In the sense, I've used the word subjective. Historians decide what is fact. Fact is not an independent idea. It's what historians decide. Professor Talcott Parsons once called science a selective system of cognitive orientation reality. Science is selective. It might perhaps have been put more simply, but history is, among other things, is that history is selective. Author, this is author's view. Author is bad. But history is selective. Historians is necessarily selective. There you go. The belief in a hardcore of historical fact existing objectively independently of the interpretation of historian is preposterous fallacy. But which one is hard to eradicate? That's it. No. If I leave this particular passage, what I'm going to do, I'm going to think about what? Positivist, common sense view, history is fact. Author like, what fact? What fact? Okay, two reasons. First of all, fact is not essential. Number two, facts are selective. History is selective. What is important? Implied interpretation. Which the author says here, more rewarding is interpretation. That's all the passages. Okay, let's start with question number one. This is basically based on the easy. This was difficult. In the sense was, I know the question setter, I think even after reading this, we may still fall for the traps. The question setter is an evil fellow, right? So when you're reading any answer choices, you look for deviation, look for flaws. It is easy to identify flaws, right? So let's read this. If now there is a supposed if the author of the passage were to write a book on Battle of Hastings along the lines of his or her reasoning, the focus of the historical account would be on the only thing that we know. Author's focus will not be facts. This is something that we know. For author, fact is not the primary function. Therefore, okay. So now we start reading this. Deriving historical fact. Suicide. Author will commit suicide. This is not, okay. Producing a detailed timeline of the various events. Again, facts. These two are kind of easy to eliminate. Now, I am guessing that you're going to get confused between three answer choices because our question setter is trying to trap. This part, look at this. Providing a nuanced interpretation. So far, so good. Relying on auxiliary sciences. But auxiliary sciences is basically said, what is it? This, the necessary, it is, what is it? Ascertaining fact is a necessary condition of his work, not an essential function. It is precisely for matters of this kind. What kind? This fact that they rely on auxiliary sciences. Auxiliary sciences is get the facts. We are relying on something that gives you facts. Why would the author rely on facts? That is a problem with answer choices. Now the problem with answer choice number one is exploring the socio-political and economic factors that led to the battle. There is nothing in the passage that says anything about it. But the question is asking an if condition. Kya ho sakta hai? And since we know for a fact, this is very difficult to pick one, but I know for a fact this is definitely a problem. This is an absolute sidetrack. That's what, no? Two random things have been connected together. Interpretation has been connected with auxiliary sciences. For author is very, very clearly, fact is correct with auxiliary sciences. Answer choice is this. Now, if this is social political factor, is looking at something that is beyond fact. That makes sense. Question number two. According to the passage, which of the following best describes the significance of archaeology? Now, you remember where archaeology is written? You see everywhere. This is probably, I think this kind of recalling is still fine. I mean, you see archaeology is written here. Archaeology is auxiliary sciences. What is auxiliary sciences for? Fact. Not to interpret fact. See, the wrong answer will have these bad words. This is wrong. This is wrong. It's not to interpret fact. Archaeology help historians to ascertain factual accuracy. There you go. I think in most of the cases, this would have been a pick me. Archaeology help historian to carry out the primary duty. No. Primary duty is beyond fact. Archaeology helps in fact. Archaeology helps historian to locate the older civilization. You know what the question setter doing? The question setter, very evil fellow. Question setter knows. You would have thought, what is our basic understanding of archaeology? Helps historian locate older civilization. That's what archaeology is about. Okay, but we need to answer the question not based on our external info. We have to base it solely based on the information given in the passage. There you go. Answer choice is 2. Question number 3. All of the following, if true, can weaken the passage's claim that facts do not speak for themselves except. So 3 things are going to weaken. 1 thing will weaken. What is the author saying? Fact is necessarily selective. Fact is not independent. Fact is not objective. I think this is like ekdam gift. A fact by very nature is objective. Gone, so gone. It will weaken. A truth value of a fact is independent of the historian. Author is saying it is dependent on the historian. This obviously attacks the passage. A fact like truth can be relative. There you go. Nice. This supports the author. What a fact person is may be different per person by. There you go. That's an answer. In the order in which a series of facts is presented does not have any bearing on the production of meaning. The order of the fact does not matter. Author says the order of fact matters. Effective way to influence opinion is by selection, arrangement of the appropriation of fact. This goes against the passage. Answer choice is 3. Question number 4. All of the following is a common sense view of history except the air sidetrack. History is like science. Okay. Question certain. This is except, which means you have to find the deviation. As history is selective. Wait a minute. Whose opinion? The question is asking common sense view. The fact that history is selective is author's view, which is against the common sense view. This has to be the answer. Now, I'm guessing what would have trapped people is an extreme word here. Now, please do understand, just because extreme word exists, it's not that it's automatically the wrong answer choice. It's not. Okay, we'll get there. Okay. History can be objective. Yes, it is objective. Science is derived from historical fact. Yeah, that's what they will say. That's a common sense view. Objective. Real history can be found in ancient engraving and archival history documents. History is document, facts are available. History is fact. Okay. Only the positivist method can lead to credible historical knowledge. Okay, now, don't understand this. It is not saying only the positivist. It's saying positivist method. What is positivist method? History is equal to fact. Now, if you read like this, only fact can lead to credible historical knowledge. A positive method is asserting fact. Only asserting fact can lead to credible historical knowledge is definitely a common sense view. Therefore, all this goes. Answer choice is 2. If we were to look at this question now, technically speaking, this understanding was good enough to answer all the questions. And this will be the case with sort of every single passage. It'll be a case. So I'm going to go a little fast for the next one. But again, the same thing. You got to read this particular passage and figure out what is your doodle. 3 words, 4 words. This doodle is not for reference method. That's not for reference. I'm not asking you to refer this because I need you to have this process, right? You can doodle in your head also. Okay. Let's just read the first paragraph completely once and understand this. Okay. And understand what is your takeaway. Why don't you take a pen paper? I will read the first paragraph. You doodle. I will doodle. Let's match our doodle. What say you? Yeah. Let's do it. Take out your pen and paper. Take it out. I can see you. Check. Pen paper. I will read the first paragraph. I will doodle. You will doodle. Let's check our doodle. So this will be doodle checking exercise. Okay. Let's start. Ready? Pen ready? Paper ready? All right. We're going. Over the past 4 centuries, liberalism has been so successful that it has driven all its opponents off the battlefield. Now it's disintegrating. Yeah, destroyed by a mix of hubris and internal contradiction, according to Patrick Didin. Not author, Patrick Didin. Okay, a professor of politics at the University of Notre Dame. Equality of opportunity has produced a new meritocratic aristocracy that has all the aloofness of the old aristocracy, with none of its sense of noblesse oblige. Democracy has degenerated into a theatre of the absurd, and technological advances are reducing ever more areas of work into meaningless drudgery. The gap between liberalism claims about itself and the lived reality of citizenry is now so wide that the lie can no longer be accepted. Mr. Didin writes, what better proof of this than the vision of 1,000 private planes whisking their occupants to Davos to discuss the question of creating a shared future in the fragmented world? Plane chala gaya log to save the planet in private plane. What is your doodle? Shall I write my doodle? Write your doodle. 4 words. That's it. You're not going to do anything else. Patrick Didin. Didin. Liberalism. Let's say L. Disintegrating. That's it. That's it. I understand that when you probably would have happened is when you read this particular sentence, you went, I don't know this. It's okay now. We'll carry on. Yeah. If one question is based on this, we'll leave the question. No. Yeah. If you want to understand what this means, equality of opportunity. You're making equal opportunity. Liberalism, equal opportunities, has produced new meritocratic aristocracy. We have created a new kind of aristocracy. It has all the problems of the old aristocracy, with none of its sense of noblesse oblige. Noblesse oblige. Okay. None of the goodness, all gone bad. They're basically saying liberalism is disintegrating. Okay. Let's go to paragraph number 2. Yeah. You're ready to do it. I will read it. Didin does an impressive job. Impressive. Got it. Emojification happening. Didin does an impressive job of capturing the mood of disillusionment, echoing left-wing complaints about the rampant commercialism, right-wing complaints about narcissistic and bullying students, and general worries about atomization and selfishness. But, wait a minute. All happiness gone. I can feel emojification. But when he concludes that all this adds up to the failure of liberalism, his argument convincing? All this says that it is a failure of liberalism. Is argument convincing? He argues that the essence of liberalism lies in freeing individuals from constraints. In fact, that's another thing the author is now clarifying. Liberalism contains a wide range of intellectual tradition which provide different answers to the question of how to trade off the relative claims of right and responsibilities, individual expression, social ties. Liberals experimented with a wide range of ideas, from devolving power from the center to creating national education system. What's your doodle? Didin is saying liberalism failed. Author, really? Author is questioning it. According to Didin, liberalism has an essence, freeing individual, one idea. Author, liberalism has wide a range of ideas. Yeah. What else? That's all, no. We are reading third paragraph. You doodle, I will doodle, we'll check the doodle. Let me read. Mr. Didin's fixation on the essence of liberalism leads to the second big problem of his book. Oh my God! Emojification. His failure to recognize liberalism's ability to reform itself and address internal problem. Liberalism can strike back. Liberals can come back, which the Didin has failed. The late 19th century saw America suffering from many of the problems that are appearing today, including the creation of business aristocracy, the rise of vast companies, the corruption of politics, and the sense that society was dividing winners and losers. But a wide variety of reformers working within the liberal tradition tackled this problem head on. Theodore Roosevelt took on the trusses. Progressive cleaned up government corruption. University reformers modernized academic syllabuses and build ladders of opportunity rather than dying. Liberalism reformed himself. You're saying liberalism dead? What do you mean, you stupid fellow? Liberalism can reform itself. This is an author. Is my doodling matching your doodling? Well, it need not match exactly. Are our doodling matching? Let's hope so. Mr. Didi is right. Oh, author is agreeing. Author is agreeing with Didin Bhai. Okay. We have to keep it right. Author and Didin is agreeing with something. What is author and Didin agreeing? What is the agreement that they have? Right to point out the record of liberalism in recent years has been dispelled. Okay, agreement number one. Liberalism falling. He is also right to assert that the world has much to learn from the pre-modern notion of liberty as mastery of self-denial. Author is agreeing these two things. The biggest enemy of liberalism is not so much atomization, but good old-fashioned greed. As members of Davos elite pile their planes ever higher on the perks and share option. Okay, all that agree. It's all greed, we agree. But he is wrong to argue that the only way for people to liberate themselves from contradiction of liberalism is liberation from liberalism itself, liberation and freedom from liberalism itself. He is wrong to say that we should ditch liberalism. The best way to read why liberalism failed is not as a funeral oration, but a call to action, up your game. Okay, author is agreeing on the fact that liberalism is dying. I agree. We have to go back to old notion. I agree. Greed is happening. I agree. But disagreement is happening. Liberalism is not dead. Liberalism can rise again. This is my doodling. Is my doodling same as your doodling? It is quite possible. Even with this kind of doodling, we will still fall for a trap. There are these two and questions. With the question setter has given some next level yes. It is quite possible. Okay. And if you look at the first question, all of the following statements are evidence of decline of liberalism today except. And these are statements from the passage. And technology advances reducing ever more areas of drudgery, meaningful drudgery, which is from here. Democracy has generated into theatre. I think, let me put the color. Okay, this is from here. Democracy has degenerated into theatre absurd. The gap between liberalism claims and about itself lived reality is no longer to be accepted. Then says what? The creation of business aristocracies was among affixes somewhere here. Which one will you pick? You know what you should do? Let's go to second question. We'll come back if you have time. Who cares? Who cares? We are interested in marks per minute, na? But if I can read the passage in about 4 minutes. We are here, quickly escape this particular question. Went to this particular question. You're still at about 4 minutes only, no? The author of the passage refers to Davos elite. Wow, we remember greed, all greed. His views are that these people are very greedy. We are looking at author has got a negative view. That tone is what we have to see in the fact that rise in liberalism had a greater interest in shared. This looks very positive. The way the debate on liberalism has been captured by the rich who have managed to insulate themselves from what is all this alien. The unlikelihood of a return to liberalism of the past, as long as the rich continue to benefit. Liberalism will return to the past. That sounds positive. The hypocrisy of liberal rich who profess to subscribe liberal values while conquering most of the gold wealth. Greed. There you go. This we can answer. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Next question. The author has a passage likely to disagree with each of the following except. Now we have to be very, very careful. Disagree, except. Disagree, multiply, agree. So we have to check for agreement. Basically, 3 things author will disagree, 1 author will not disagree. That's what that means. No. Now, authors, liberalism was dominant ideal in the past century, but it had to reform itself to remain so. ये तो है. Liberalism reform. I don't know why it's red. I think why it's red is because of this. Okay, answer choice number 4. I think this is where the question setter is kind of be extra evil. Lucifer season 10 happened in option number 4. But okay. Liberalism was a dominant idol of the past century, but it has reformed. If we accept liberalism is dying, we must work to find a viable substitute. So we side. The author said no substitute. The essence of liberalism lies in greater individual self-expression and freedom. Sidetrack. You have to be careful about this sidetrack. You know why careful about sidetrack? You remember reading this, no? Liberalism, freeing individual from constraint. Okay. Essence of liberalism lies in greater individual. Yeah, this is the view of Didinbai, not author. Author says that liberalism is a wide range of idea, and this is like awesome. This is like awesome. If you got confused between 2 answer choices, no, leave and move to the next question. There's no need to waste. I think we can just go to the next question. That's how you move. Yeah, if that would have happened, we read the passage in about 4 minutes. In 4 minutes, we have dished this question. In 4 minutes, 25 seconds, we are here. I think that if you mark this is fine. If you got confused, we left it. 4.5, 5 minutes, we are here. We look at this particular question. Okay. And then we'll probably answer it another 31 minutes, 5-6 minutes. We are in the next passage. But the problem happened, we decided to get stuck. I read the passage will feel bad. So I have to be here in this question. All that, okay. We'll do all questions, don't worry. But let's look at this one. Claims about liberalism's disintegration are exaggerated and misunderstood as core feature. You know what this means? Liberalism disintegrated is an exaggeration. Liberalism disintegration is an exaggeration, which means this is a wrong statement. So you know what this actually means? The liberalism disintegration is a misunderstanding, which means liberalism has not disintegrated. But we know that the author agrees. Right to point out that liberalism record in the lesson here is dismal. Why would the author say it's an exaggeration? It is not an exaggeration. It is not a misunderstanding. It's something the author agrees. I think that you might be falling for this answer choice. Okay, let's go for this. The author of the passage false Didin's conclusion for all of the following reasons except गाली 3 गाली एक में गाली नहीं है. It is repeated harking back to pre-modern notion of liberty. Wait a minute. He is also right to assert the world has much to learn from the pre-modern notion of liberty. No गाली there. Pyar, love. So this is a sidetracking. Somewhere else from the passage, this is answered. Is extreme pessimism about the future liberalism today? Yes. This is true. This is Gali of the author. Its failure to note historical instances in which process decline liberalism has managed reverse instead. He failed. Yes. It's very narrow definition. Yes. Narrow definition. There you go. You'll be able to solve this quickly. Now let's go back to that one question that we missed. Okay. Now, the problem is all of the following statements are evidence of decline in liberalism. Liberalism died. What is it? First of all, the late 19th century saw America suffering from many of the problems that are reappearing today. Many of the problems reappearing today, including the creation of business aristocracy. The creation of business aristocracy is definitely a problem of liberalism dying. So this is okay. This is actually easy to find out. The gap between liberalism claims and the reality is so vast. Liberalism declining. And we have to look at these things. Democracy has degenerated into the theater of absurd. Democracy, so the system is gone down. Liberalism died. This is talking about technological advances are reducing ever more areas into meaningful death. This is talking about what technological advances did. This is not about liberalism, no. Obviously, author is mentioning that in a sense a lot of problems are happening, but it's not a specific example of this one. So here is where the question setter is like extra bit of the question setter is trying to be extra evil and trying to catch us. But it's okay, we'll leave this. It's okay. So the way in which you want to solve is read the passage. See, for example, I am guaranteeing that the way in which I read the passage, just by reading the passage, the way in which I would have read the passage, you would have understood the passage. My feeling. I don't know. It's my gut feeling. The way, but you don't read the passage like how I read the passage, no? You read the passage like, oh, the mass force engine label is the different on the battlefield now it isn't. That's how we read. Read the passage like you care. We'll quickly do one more at sort of normal pace. It doesn't matter what this is. We will get all the 4 questions correct. We'll quickly. Keep getting the key ideas. Okay. Keep putting the key ideas in. We'll keep moving. Now, while I'm reading, you will also take the pen paper. You doodle while I am reading it to you. But you're not reading. I will read aloud. You doodle. I will also doodle. Let's check what's happening. Okay. We will doodle after we reach the end of each paragraph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraph. Okay. It doesn't matter. We'll doodle together. Doodling together. Okay. Ready? Ready, bolo na? We are ready, no? We are ready. Third passage. This is the third thing. That's it. We will not do the fourth one. Then we'll do the VA. Okay. Are we ready? Okay. The second-hand September campaign, led by Off Farm, seeks to encourage shopping at local organizations and charities as an alternative to fast fashion brands such as Primark and Boohoo in the name of saving our planet. As innocent as mindless scrolling through online shops may have seen, such consumers are unintentionally or perhaps even knowingly contributing to an industry that uses more energy than aviation. Correct. Fast fashion? Malab, bad? Second-hand sale is happening. And this summary is like our put a summary only. Whatever is stupid in our head, nobody is going to see this. This is for personal consumption only. No, let's read the second one. Brits buy more garments than any other country in Europe. So it comes as no shock that many of those clothes end up in UK landfill each year, 300,000 tons of them. To be exact, the waste of clothing is destructive to our planet, releasing greenhouse gases as clothes are burned, as well as bleeding toxins and dyes into the surrounding soil and water. As ecologist Chelsea Roachman bluntly put it, this mismanagement of waste has come ever back haunting us to dinner plate. Fast fashion, waste, lot of waste is created. Bad, really bad. Okay, let's go. It is not surprising then that people are scrambling for solution, the most common of which is second-hand shopping. Retailers selling consigned clothing are currently expanding at a rapid rate. If everyone bought just one used item a year, if you bought one, I bought one, it would save 449 million pounds of waste, equivalent to the weight of 1 million polar bears. Thrifting has become a trendy practice. London is home to many second-hand, or more commonly coined vintage shops across the city, from Bayswater to Brixton. All this is bad. So for that, what is the solution? Second-hand sales is a solution to this particular problem. It is given solution. That's the solution. What else? Is there anything you want to add? You want to add thrifting, whatever, vintage, all that. Thrifting solution. Okay. Where is the author going? So you're cool and you care about the planet. You have killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Emojification is happening. But do people simply purchase a second-hand item, flash it on Instagram with #vintage, and call it a day without considering whether what they're doing is actually effective? Wait a minute. Author, is second-hand sales effective? Where is it going? According to the study commissioned by Patagonia, for instance, older clothes shed more microfibers. These can end up in our rivers and seas after just 1 wash due to the worn material, thus contributing to microfiber pollution. To break it down, the amount of microfibers released by laundering 100,000 fleece jacket is equivalent to as many as 11,900 plastic grocery bags, and up to 40% of them ends up in the ocean. So where does this leave second-hand consumers? They would well be advised to buy high quality item that shed less and last longer, as this combats both microfiber pollution and excess garments ending up in landfill. Author is saying that this old second-hand stuff, microfiber, bad. This is author. This is our author. Microfiber, bad. Author is now giving a solution. Buy high quality second-hand stuff. Don't buy low quality, buy high quality one. Okay, where is going? Luxury brand would rather not circulate their latest fashion stock around the globe to be sold at cheaper price, which is why companies like Thread UP, a UK fashion resale marketplace, has not yet caught in UK. There will always be a market for consignment, but there is also a whole generation of people who have been taught that only buying new products is the norm. Second-hand luxury goods is not in their psyche. Ben Whitaker, director at liquidation firm B Stock, told Prosper unless recycling becomes cost-effective and filters into mass production, with the right technology partner, high-end retailers would rather put brand with sustainability. So they say the high quality, second-hand this is not going to work. First of all, brand will not allow it. They don't want to do it. People don't buy second-hand, high-quality stuff. So basically, author is saying the second-hand effectiveness is not there. This is the passage. You got the passage. I got the passage. We read the passage. Go into question number 1. This is what people got wrong, but we will get it right. The central idea of passage will be attacked. First of all, what is the central idea? Second-hand stuff is ineffective. Why? We have low-quality stuff only. What can attack it? Second-hand stores only sold only high-quality clothes. If that is true, then second-hand will be amazing. According to author, high-quality stuff is very good. And in second-hand stores, high-quality nahi hota hai. But if high-quality, second-hand sold only high-quality good, then it combats everything. So this is the answer. This clothes were not thrown and burned. What do you mean? What is this? The side track, the Primark, and this is the chota little bit of success, some example given. Customers bought all clothes online. What is it? Just what little chindumindu thing in the passage is taken. Side tracking and giving it. We don't fall for side tracking traps. Okay. Question number 2. According to the author, companies like Thread UP have not caught on UK for all the following reasons except. So we have to identify the deviation. Britons don't buy second-hand clothing. Oh, broad. Britons buy second-hand clothing. Britons don't buy high-quality second-hand clothing. This is our answer, except luxury brand do not like their product revalued. Okay, there you go. Recycling is currently not financially attractive unless recycling wants to maintain the brand image, would rather put brand, all that is mentioned, answer choice is 1. Okay. The act of thrifting, second hand, is it effective? Not effective. Because it creates microfibers. The act of thrifting, the passage is considered ironic because it has created environmental problems. Everything else is offer luxury. Suicide! It is not offering luxury. Not cost of, who's talking about cost effectiveness? Alien. What is all this? Stupid things. 3. Question number 4. Based on the passage, we can infer opposite of fast fashion, slow fashion would most likely, here, this case. First of all, do not shed, do not bleed, extreme, do not shed even a single microfiber, do not bleed at all, extreme. Are sold by genuine vintage. So what do you mean genuine? Are of high quality and long lasting, which is what fashion brands are. Now fashion brand ends up here, all stupid things. Slow fashion would be high quality, long lasting. This would be the answer. Okay, there you go. So the way in which I should have actually read it is that any single passage. I think what you have to do with reading comprehension. This is kind of absolutely important for you to do. What you have to do with reading comprehension is that that you read the passage at the pace of your comprehension. Why are you hurrying? Your problem with hurrying is you're assuming that your question takes a lot of time. Question takes a lot of time because you decide to get stuck. Why can't I keep moving forward? Keep on taking the bet, keep on taking the bet, keep on taking the bet, and move forward. Keep on moving forward, and you'll be able to handle this. I hope this made sense. Okay, we will do VA. Since I've been shouting for the past, shall we take a quick 5 minutes break? So I will put the timer here. Where is the timer? Just 1 second. Yeah. So we'll quickly take a 5 minutes break. We'll come back, and we are well in time. I hope that we're well in time. We will then discuss the VA question. I'll talk about the VA question, and yeah. So we'll take a quick 5 minutes break. I'll see you after 5 minutes.